Hello everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen. Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. Hi, hello, welcome to my spring or quarter two reading plans. I am a mood reader. So I'm a mood reader who also loves lists. I love lists. I love TBRs. I make them all the time. Do I stick to them? No. But as a mood reader, I like having a lot of options. So I have given myself a lot of options for books that I would really love to read in April, May, and June, the next quarter of the year. I feel like this is mostly leaning on April and May because June is Pride. So as that gets closer, I'll probably have more of a specific idea on what I want to read for Pride Month. But for now, these are the books that I want to read in the next coming months. All right, so first up, of course, we have the books that I am currently making my way through, or the series that I'm making my way through. And that is An Echo of Things to Come by James Islington, which is his second book in the Lycanius trilogy. I am just over halfway through, about 370 pages in. So I would love to finish this, and I plan on doing so, and then also doing the sequel, which is even chunkier, which is a little distressing. But I'm excited to wrap up this trilogy and to see where James Islington takes this story because it's absolutely amazing. I read Shadow What Was Lost, which is book 1, in March, and it was a 5-star amazing book. Absolutely loved how James Islington set up this story between 3 kids who were going to a magic school through no fault of their own, but through choices of their own, are set off on a quest. And it's just this like unspooling of magic and time and politics and everything. It is one of the best old man fantasy books I've ever read. And I'm really enjoying the sequel as well. So I will be reading this one and also the final one in the trilogy as well in the coming 2 months, hopefully this month. Other than that, I'm also still in the middle, almost done, the Inheritance Cycle by Christopher Paolini. I just need to read this last book. So of course this is going to be in my TBR for this coming month. Hopefully I can finish it in April. That way I can finish up my series video that I'm doing for this series specifically. I'm also very excited to wrap up the series because I want to know how Christopher is going to end this. If you don't know what the Aragon series is about, it's about this boy named Aragon who finds a dragon egg and it hatches and it sets him off to become a dragon rider, to get revenge on these creatures who destroyed his life and killed his uncle. All sorts of stuff. Take down the empire, big epic quest, war, fantasy, dragons, all that deliciousness. And this is book 4. I'm also going to be reading book 2 and 3 in the Inheritance trilogy. I keep saying I want to read The Broken Kingdoms, which is book 2, in all of my vlogs, and then I just never get to it. So hopefully in the next coming couple days, I actually pick this up and start it because I've been wanting to pick this up, but unfortunately my brain is in a sci-fi mood, so I've just been kind of pushing it, but I'm going to be reading this and I know I'm going to enjoy it because it's N.K. Jemisin. N.K. Jemisin is one of my favorite authors of all time, and this is the second and third in a book series that I really liked. Book 1. Book 1 follows Yenadar, who is claimed as one of the 3 heirs to the throne by the king at the beginning of that book. She spends about 2 weeks in this atmosphere of a palace, learning to fit in, learning all the politics about it, and also doing things that this group of gods trapped in their mortal bodies has asked her to do, and learning about herself, and learning about them, and learning about all sorts of shit. And the end of that book, I have no idea where she's gonna take this series from there, but I'm excited to find out. From there, all right, so I have a pile of fantasy. I'm really sorry if you can hear any cars going by. My window is open and it's very loud suddenly. So I have a pile of fantasy. I have some books that aren't fantasy, so like sci-fi and like one mystery, thrillery, horror-y vibe, and then I got some nonfiction, and then some plans for rereads, which is very exciting. We'll just keep going with the fantasy trade because I was already talking about fantasy books. So next up, I would really like to read The Dragons of Deepwood Fen by Bradley P. Beaulieu. This is one of the books that I picked up at the beginning of the year, and I want to read more dragon books. You guys know how much I love dragon books, and it's about dragons. I want to know what this is about. I want to get into this world and into the story, and I wanted to experience this writer's writing, and it looks like there's riders on the back of this dragon, both of them. So dragon riders as well. Incredible. I'm very excited about this, but yeah, this is definitely on the TBR. Then we also have The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett, which is a first of another series by Robert Jackson Bennett, who wrote the Foundry Side trilogy. This is a like Sherlock Holmesian fantasy mystery type situation. Apparently it's quite good. I haven't really heard anything otherwise about it, so I'm excited to give it a try because Robert Jackson Bennett's writing is quite engaging, if you will, so I'm excited to see how he handles a mystery like this because I already know how he does heists, with the Foundry side, so let's see how he does a mystery. I also have Who Fears Death by Nnedi Okorafor, which is a little book that I got at the thrift store. I picked it up. I've read a couple Nnedi Okorafors before. I didn't like Binti very much at all, but I did read one of their books back in university. I believe it was called Lagoon, and I did really enjoy their writing style, so I think if I try this one out, I might get a better sense of their writing style. I don't know. I saw Nnedi Okorafor on the spine and I was like, let's try it. It's post-apocalyptic Africa, where the world has changed in many ways, yet in one region genocide between tribes still bloodies the land. A woman who has survived the annihilation of her village and a terrible rape by an enemy general wanders into the desert, hoping to die. Instead, she gives birth to an angry baby girl with hair and skin the color of sand. Gripped by the certainty that her daughter is different, special, she names her child Onyesonwu. I probably butchered that, sorry, which means who fears death in an ancient tongue. So this is dystopian fantasy at its best, exploring issues of race, gender, and cultural identity. So I feel like it's gonna be good. I feel like it's gonna be a good one. We'll find out. I also would love, this is another series one, but like, it's a little bit of like a maybe. I would love to actually keep going with the Mad Ship or the Live Ship Traders series by Robin Hobb and continue with the second book in that trilogy, Mad Ship, because I really liked the first one and I just need to pick up the second one and keep going with it. So I'm keeping this on this list as a maybe because I feel like I need to be in a very specific mood for Robin Hobb, even though I really do want to continue with the realm of the Elderlings and find out how much amazingness it contains. So this is a maybe. Added on to all of my fantasy lists. I do want to get to this year, of course, and to finish this trilogy this year as well, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to it in April, May, or June, but it's on this list as a potential and as a, like, I do really want to read this, so I'm putting it on this list. I also have A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal, which has been taken out from my library. This is a YA book, but it has been pitched as King Arthur means the Peaky Blinders. And I really want to know what that's about because so many people on TikTok love this. So I'm going to give it a try. And I'm very excited about giving it a try because I've read one of Hafsa Faisal's other books, what is it called? We Hunt the Flame, which is the first in that duology, which I still need to actually get the second one and finish. But I really want to know more about Hafsa Faisal's writing and to see how she crafts a story. And this one just sounds fantastic. Like Arthurian meets Peaky Blinders, and apparently there's vampires. I want to know. I want to know. So we'll just continue into the ones that are the rereads because those are books that are still fantasy. Before we do that, then also I would love to read Pillar of Ash by Hannah Long. This was in the wrong pile. This is the fourth and final book in her Four Pillars series. They're all connected standalones, so you don't necessarily have to read them in order, but like if you read them in order, that's probably the best way to do it because there's characters that are mentioned and like events that are mentioned that are all connected. I like to think of it as like Hall of Smoke and Temple of No God are a connected duology, and then the next two kind of stand on their own because they follow different characters, but they're still connected to the first two. It's a whole thing. It's a fantastic series. Everybody should read this. This is the fourth and final one that came out this year, and I'm a little scared to get to it because I know it's the last one in this world. Even though we're getting books from Hannah Long until like 2028 at this point because she's announced so many new books that are coming out with Titan. I'm so excited for her and her career, and I'm so excited. And this makes a lot of sense because the next books, I want to reread Darkwater Daughter. Why? Because I got approved for an arc of Black Tide Sun just the other day. This is the arc that I'm holding up, by the way. This is the copy that I read before the original book came out. I have this one here, Darkwater Daughter. This is the beautiful Fox and Wit version of it. And then I have it underneath as well, like the proper version. But I got approved for a e-arc of Black Tide Sun, so I want to reread this before I go into that. So that's the plan. I can't wait. I can't wait, and this is going to happen sooner than later. So yeah, this is the first of the rereads. And then you guys know I do the series challenge, or the vlog series, if you will. The next one on the docket has been moved up exponentially quicker because I just got an arc for book 3. And book 3 comes out in June, I do believe. That is Black Tide Sun, Favorite Star, and Mirrored Heavens. Yeah, your girl was graced with an arc. I'm so excited. I screamed, fully screamed when I opened my mail the other day and this peeked out of it. Oh my God. So yes, I'm going to be rereading Black Sun and then reading these two, Fevered Star and Mirrored Heavens, for a series video because I've been slacking on this trilogy. I really enjoyed Black Sun, and I don't know why I didn't just go into Favorite Star. I think I tried it at some point, but I ended up like just not getting into the audiobook of it. So physically is probably the better way to do it, or tandem. That's probably what I'm gonna end up doing, because you guys know. But yeah, this is going to be another series. It'll be probably the one after the Aragon one goes up, so I gotta finish that one first before I can dive into this. But this is going to be May's like series focus, if you will be these 3 books, which is exciting because that'll be right before Mirrored Heavens actually is released into the world in proper hardback form. So I'm excited, I'm ready to go, and this is gonna happen. This is like a pre-Columbian America's fantasy with multi-POV. It's very, very interesting. I've really enjoyed it, but I need to reread book 1 because I don't remember a damn thing. Then I also would like to get to What Feasts at Night by T. Kingfisher, which is the sequel to What Moves the Dead. I keep getting the titles mixed up. What Feasts at Night and What Moves the Dead. What Moves the Dead was one of my favorite books of last year. It was a surprise 5-star. Absolutely loved it. A retelling of The Fall of the House of Usher. And this is its sequel. So I'm excited to see where T. Kingfisher takes that first book and extends it into, because I didn't realize we were gonna get a sequel until we did. So yay. All right, other than that, we also have some sci-fi. I got 3 on this list. One of them that I'm going to start literally later today, probably, hopefully, if I can get around to it. I've been doing a lot of planning and writing and stuff for a new project, so that's been taking up my brain space recently, but this has been calling my name, and it is The Blighted Stars by Megan O'Keefe. I keep getting it mixed up with the other one on this TBR, which is These Burning Stars by Bethany Jacobs. These are 2 amazing sci-fis that I'm so excited to get to. I've only heard amazing things about both of these, honestly, and they've just been both calling my name. This one more so just for vibes. I don't know why, and I'm in a sci-fi mood, so this is why I'm gonna pick up this one like next. It's gonna be the book that I pick next, but yes, I'm gonna be reading The Blighted Stars. Geez. It's stranded on a dead planet, forced to ally with her mortal enemy. Survival is the only option in the first book of this stunning widescreen space opera trilogy. What a way to describe it. Widescreen space opera. Very cool. She's a revolutionary and he's the heir to the dynasty. Ooh, I'm excited. And then, of course, These Burning Stars by Bethany Jacobs is a richly imagined space opera packed with intricate world building, compelling prose, and twisty politics. Immersive and epic, a sprawling space opera perfect for fans of A Memory Called Empire and Two Like Lightning. I didn't like A Memory Called Empire, but I'm excited for this. Apparently, it's got like manipulation, obsession, and devotion, and it's apparently really, really, really good. And I've heard only good things about this across the interwebs. So I'm excited for it. But yeah, those are the 2 sci-fis. And then I also have Rubicon by J.S. Doze, which has been on my TBR for months at this point. And I need to just get to it because I love J.S. Doze's writing. Love it so much. The Last Watch and The Exiled Fleet are some of my favorite sci-fis ever. So I need to know how this sci-fi standalone works, because it is apparently a sci-fi standalone. And also I believe J.S. Doze's 3rd in the Exile, in the Expanse, no, in the Divides trilogy, that's the trilogy name, is coming out this year, apparently. So I'm excited. Those are the 3 sci-fis on my list. Then we have one that's outside of all genre before we get to the non-fictions. Yeah, I'm gonna share some non-fictions. Who am I? But the one that's outside of the regular genres is White Horse by Erica T. Worth. This is a indigenous horror family thriller. Family ties are made from rusty barbed wire in White Horse. It's a ghost story. Some people are haunted in more ways than one. This follows Kari when her cousin Debbie finds an old family bracelet that one belonged to Kari's mother. It inadvertently calls out both her mother's ghost and a monstrous entity, and Kari's willful ignorance about her past is no longer sustainable. So I'm excited to see how this works because I love indigenous horror books, so I bet you this one's just gonna knock it out of the park. Nonfiction. I got 3. I got How to Read Now by Elaine Castillo, which I got out from my library. I really want to find an audiobook for this because I struggle so hard with nonfiction when it's not in audio form. So definitely want to get to this one. This is an exploration and polemic that redefines the power and potential of reading by a novelist whose prose is as good as it gets and who has a real voice, vernacular and fluid with take no edge. How to Read Now explores the politics and ethics of reading and insists that we are capable of something better, a more engaged relationship, but not just with our fiction, but in our art, but with our buried and entangled histories. So I'm excited to read this because I've heard really good things about this as like someone who reads. So love that. Someone who is a reader, of course. And then I have Cast by Isabel Wilkerson, which I picked up from the thrift store earlier this year. I have the audiobook on Libby, so this is going to be a definite like soon read. This is a look at the origins of our discontents. to look at race. Isabel Wilkerson gives us a masterful portrait of an unseen phenomenon in America as she explores through an immersive, deeply researched narrative and stories about real people how America today and throughout its history has been shaped by a hidden caste system, a rigid hierarchy of human rankings. So I'm excited to get into this. It's always good to learn more things about race, especially in America. And we have Madly Deeply by Alan Rickman, which is his diaries that has a foreword by Emma Thompson. And I have the audiobook on Libby as well. And I think it's narrated by him. I mean, it should be narrated by him. I want... Look at these end pages. I love Alan Rickman so much. I hope he talks about his experience in Sense and Sensibility. I really hope he does. And like in all the movies that he's made, he's just such a brilliant man. And I'm so excited to read this, truly. And I think this is probably one of the nonfictions I've been hankering for. So the fact that I have the audiobook through Libby now, it's going to be a soon read as well. These two are going to be like the two nonfictions that I get to the soonest because I have the audiobooks for them. Anyways, my friends, that's all the reading plans I have for the second quarter of the year. So let me know in the comments what you plan on reading in the second quarter of the year. If you have anything atop your TBR, I would love to know. And I can't wait to see what I feel about all these books. If there's any books that you are specifically excited to see me talk about, please let me know and I will make a point of doing so. If you're excited about the Between Earth and Sky trilogy series that's going to be coming at some point, this is going to be a very I can't do this full stack. I just looked at the 3 books of over 800 page fantasy tomes next to me. I'm not going to be able to include those, but everything else I can. But I hope you're all doing well. I will catch you in another video very, very, very soon. Stay kind and keep on reading. Oh dear.